As you know, there is nothing that enrages the modern leftist more than free speech. And so the left, and that includes much of the journalistic class, and of course establishment figures, were apoplectic with rage when Elon Musk bought Twitter and announced that it would be a free speech platform. Now, although Elon has not been absolutely perfect on that front, he has still delivered more free speech than they are comfortable with. And so when Mark Zuckerberg announced a new social media platform, they dubbed it the Twitter Killer, a place where left-wing narratives and magical thinking would conquer all. A place where everything that the government tells you is true, everybody's been triple boosted, and red hats are illegal. And so the celebrations began. Here from The Guardian, Twitter Killer Threads app hits 100 million signups in less than 5 days. Now, I made a video about why Threads would fail when this all started. And by fail, I meant it would not displace Twitter as the digital public square. And it looks like I was right. Threads unraveling. Traffic on Zuckerberg's Twitter alternative plummets in second week. Says on Friday, as Threads suffered, Musk announced that Twitter usage was up 3.5% week over week. Says within 48 hours of launching on July 5th, Mark Zuckerberg's Threads managed to bring in 100 million users, making it the fastest growing application in history. The initial fanfare was short-lived, however, and Meta's Twitter alternative has been on a downward spiral ever since. Data collected by SimilarWeb has revealed that traffic on Threads has decreased by more than 50% in its second week of operation, though the numbers only reflect Android users. Apple is scheduled to provide figures for iPhone users in the coming weeks. I wouldn't expect it to be any different. And it says that Threads had more than 49 million active daily users on its busiest day, July 7th. But by the following Friday, that number had dipped to just 23.6 million. Time spent also decreased from 20 minutes to 5 minutes over that same time period. So it had a huge start, 100 million users. And why is that? Well, it's part of Meta. Meta owns Instagram, and they made it very easy to sign up from Instagram. And that's one of the advantages of having this huge developed infrastructure. But even with all of that, you still have to have something that people want. You have to offer something they're not getting anywhere else. So Threads signs up mostly Instagram users and a few rejects from Twitter, where they were desperate to find an echo chamber where they wouldn't hear anything that offended them ever again. But most of the people were Instagram users, and what do you do on Instagram? Well, you post photos of your lunch and your ass. And they've already got an app for that, Instagram. If Threads wants to become the new public square for news and opinion, and remember, Threads was supposed to displace Twitter, then the user base has to be interested in news and opinion. And they're not. They're interested in lunch and asses, and I guess pictures of people on yachts. Now, the head of Instagram and Threads, Adam Mosseri, has said on many occasions that Threads has no plan to bolster news and political content. And I don't believe that at all. I think a big part of the plan for Threads is to install it as a reliable propaganda outlet for government agencies and legacy media. It says its guidelines also force strict adherence to rules that stifle the explicit dark humor that most dedicated Twitter users enjoy. Now, you want to see why it's not getting engagement, where people aren't using it? Well, it's not too difficult to see why. Additionally, users have complained that Threads' algorithm turns them off from using the app. Users can't customize their feed. They can't customize their feed and can only peruse content from random accounts they don't follow. Even worse, there's no way to change this issue within the app. Threads' algorithm shows users a mix of content from people they follow and from people they don't to keep users engaged with the app. But for some, the algorithm may be having the opposite effect. Because everyone hopped on Threads at once with no real understanding of the app, there wasn't a lot of content to interact with. Of course, it was not surprising to see stories like this immediately as soon as Threads went online. Meta's Threads app already facing backlash for silencing conservatives days after launch. Meta also includes a message warning users when they follow certain accounts, including Donald Trump Jr., So, yeah, you're not going to see many conservatives decide that this is the way forward. And without conservatives, well, you've just got a left-wing echo chamber. And like with Mastodon, which a few million Twitter users went to after Elon Musk bought Twitter, it will just turn into a circular firing squad. Because without anybody else to hate, they will just turn on each other in a feedback loop of escalating virtue signals. And while that may be funny to watch, it's not a good business model. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for doing that. I will see you next time.